is in kind of the whole separate money from state, like not very much being a fan of banks. A lot of people are like, I'm not here for the banks to acquire Bitcoin. We knew this was going to happen. And it is what it is. But now we know that, hey, institutional capital is very clearly going to be here. I'm sure we're going to see very quick mindset shifts in the next couple of months. And everyone's going to want some Bitcoin. So, hey, maybe a 10x from here isn't that far out of the picture. Maybe the gold market cap isn't, 4 years away. Maybe it's a couple years from now. Nika, I hate to say it. I've been saying it so much lately, but maybe.
You know what? I'm stepping in. I'm hijacking this for a second. We're at 107,000, probably break 110, 120 by the end of the year. If we only do to 200K, it's less than 100% gain. All right. If we only hit 100% gain next year, it would be a letdown. And historically, Bitcoin tends to perform the year after the halving. So, are you saying that we're only going to hit 100% next year? That's the gain. We hit 143% this year, right? 2016, we hit 125% before the 20x that we did in 2017. I'm not saying the same thing needs to happen. But I mean, a 5x from here is roughly 500,000 per Bitcoin, right? A 3x from here is roughly 300,000 per Bitcoin. And the general consensus, what I get from someone, and we're going to talk about this, the market psychology behind all of this. Do any of you guys feel euphoric? Do any of you guys feel excited?
No. We were just talking about this. I think I was interacting with Joe Consorti on Twitter last night, and we all just feel exactly the same. There's no excitement whatsoever.
We're all dead inside.
Now. Yeah,
we're all dead inside. So Zach, before I want you to show the box, right? But before we do that, what's your take on the prediction by Saylor? The three things that needed to happen: the change in the FASB accounting rules, the ability for banks to custody Bitcoin, and the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. All those three things have happened in 2024 before the parabola year of 2025. What's your opinion on all this?
Well, the guy's definitely prescient. I think it really helps with his credibility. I mean, he predicted these things, and as much as I think Saylor can sometimes be a polarizing figure in Bitcoin, especially with his comments about self-custody and that kind of stuff. I mean, he seems to be spot on about this, and even for smaller startups like Foundation, the accounting rules are a really interesting and helpful change, because before we were only able to put Bitcoin on our books at whatever value we purchased it at. And now we're actually going to be able to mark that up on our books. So that's going to make our company look stronger. It's going to help companies with Bitcoin on their books that are private companies or startups have an easier time raising money, because our financials are going to look better. Then, of course, for public companies, right, I think it's going to create a huge incentive to bring Bitcoin onto the balance sheet. So I think Saylor was spot on here. I think another aspect that on top, in addition to the ETF, is I believe options trading on the ETFs were recently approved too. So there's just so much money that's going to be flooding in now, and none of us are even close to being in a state where we're even excited yet euphoric. So I just feel, based on that gauge alone, I think we have so much higher to go in 2025.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that assessment. By the way, we're on the verge of breaking 500 live viewers on YouTube. We already broke 100 likes. So let's aim for 200 likes within the first 30 minutes of the show. So if you guys are enjoying the show, smash that like button across all platforms. We're currently sitting at 1,300 live viewers, plus the 90 or so of you guys watching on Rumble. So smash the like button on whatever platform you guys like. And of course, share this video if you guys are enjoying it, if you guys find it valuable. But the party is just getting started. Also, Zach, before we move on, could you show the box?
I got to be careful not to reveal too much, but the box is right here.
That's pretty hot.
But want to know actually something cool? There's two boxes, because we got a dark code box as well. So very interesting times.
Why could there be two boxes in two different colors? What could it be?
I have no idea why we do that.
Anyways, guys, you guys are going to have to stay till the end of the show when during the culture segment, Zach is going to reveal the new product that's going to be launched by Foundation Devices. It's going to be changing the game. So many things that I can't say, I want to say, but I can't say just now. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned. But anyways, guys, let's start the show. But before we do that, I have to give a shout out to our lead sponsor. Of course, I'm talking about Bitcoin Well. Bitcoin Well is the best place to build your automatic self-custody Bitcoin stack. Enable your independence with the fastest and safest way to buy Bitcoin on-chain or via the Lightning Network in Canada or the USA. What makes Bitcoin Well different than all the other platforms, it is that it's completely non-custodial, meaning as soon as you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, as soon as the funds clear, it goes straight to your self-custody Bitcoin wallet address. To get started, go to bitcoinwell.com today, put in your email address, takes about 2 to 5 minutes to sign up, and bada bing, bada boom, you're ready to buy Bitcoin. Also, for higher net worth individuals, check out their Bitcoin Well Infinite product. It just launched, and what it is essentially is a white glove experience for individuals that are looking to buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin or more. So, what makes Bitcoin Well Infinite different? If you're tired of dealing with Coinbase and their UI and their support that doesn't get back to you, you have to send an email address and then hope to God that they get back to you within a reasonable period of time. If you're tired of that and you want to deal with a human being every time you buy, sell, or you have any questions about Bitcoin, you want a personal Bitcoin representative, the Bitcoin Well Infinite product is for you. So if you have any questions about it, go to bitcoinwell.com/OTC. Or you can email me at nico@bitcoinwell.com and I'll get you in contact with one of the Bitcoin Well representatives. Also, every time you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, you earn Bitcoin Well points, and you could redeem those points towards the Bitcoin Wishing Well contest. We just tossed a coin into the Wishing Well. First person to scan the QR code has won 500 sats. You win every time you toss a coin into the Wishing Well, and you have an opportunity to win up to 1 million sats every time you toss a coin in. All right, everybody, let's get to the numbers. We have lots to talk about today. Again, smash the like button. We're starting Monday off strong. Let's go.
I want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Stampseed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed words really secure? Stampseed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of writing them down on paper. Don't do that. Paper sucks. You want to literally stamp your seed into this plate of titanium. Your words are actually stamped into the metal plate with this hammer. So once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and your pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They are also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and most importantly, because this is generational wealth, time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin for the long haul. I mean, here is the plate that they crushed. They put in water, they put a blowtorch to it, and as you can see, the words have survived. Stamp your seed on Stampseed. And you can use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on their store. Head over to Stampseed.
All right, guys, you want to make it over to the finish line with your generational wealth. This is exactly why you shouldn't be writing down your seed words on paper. You should be stamping them on titanium. Go to stampseed.com today. Use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the store. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $107,080. Block height, 875,039. 39 sats per dollar, 934. That sounds so good. It's less than 1,000 sats per dollar. Holy cow. That is gnarly. Market cap, 2.12 trillion. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 11.47%. Percentage issued, 94.27. Decline from all-time high, 0, because we're at an all-time high. Oh, no, never mind. I jinxed it. And realized monetary inflation, 1.15%. Bitcoin is currently sitting near all-time highs or close to all-time highs And it's pretty crazy. Anyways, so I don't know if I want to play you guys this video. I kind of just want to talk about this topic. And it's kind of essentially just how markets work, right? And the reason I want to talk about this is Zach was talking about it earlier. I went on a tweet rampage last night. I'll show you some of those tweets. But essentially, we broke 100K and we celebrated at 100K. Everyone was hyped, but you weren't hyped because of the price appreciation. You were hyped because of the milestone of Bitcoin breaking 100K. It's like human beings, like they like the nice round numbers and we're like, oh my God, 6-digit Bitcoin. This is historic. Oh my God, this is crazy. But like percentage wise, we're like, okay, this is nice. And then the euphoria of that celebrating 100K wore off within half a day or a couple hours, right? And the thing is with markets, right, is that like it's psychological, right? So this is why I like to show the Wall Street cheat sheet because it applies to Bitcoin. It applies to all markets, right? And me and Opti were talking about this before the show, and I guess we'll kind of like, go around the panel and just kind of get where everyone's thinking. But essentially, this is how it works. There's a disbelief phase, which is this rally will fail like the others. The hope, a recovery is possible. Optimism, this rally is real. Belief, time to get fully invested. Thrill, I will buy more on margin. Got to tell everyone to buy. Euphoria, I'm a genius. We're all going to be rich. And then it starts to correct. Complacency, we just need to cool off for the next rally. Anxiety, why am I getting margin called? This dip is taking longer than expected. Denial, my investments are with great companies. They will come back. Panic, shit, everyone is selling. I need to get out. Capitulation, I'm getting 100% out of the markets. I can't afford to lose more. Anger, who shorted the market? Why did the government allow this to happen? Depression, my retirement money is lost. How can we pay for all this new stuff? I'm an idiot. And then the cycle just repeats itself, right? But you kind of get PTSD from going through that bear phase. And, the awesome thing about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin's very unique because of the halving cycles. And it's really followed this pattern of 3 green, 1 red since its inception. So what are those 3 green, 1 red? You have 3 green, 3 years of Bitcoin being up on the year. And then you have 1 year of just it's slowly, losing value on the year, right? And what tends to happen is the most parabolic year, the year of the parabola so far in Bitcoin's history, maybe next year is going to break that cycle. I don't think so. But the year of the parabola tends to be the year after the halving. That's when the party starts. And then the year after the parabola year is the hangover year. So why am I bringing all this up? Because Zach was talking about it. Opti was talking about it. I actually tweeted this out last year when we were making an all-time high. I said, I feel nothing. And then I added a little bit more context a little bit later, and the tweet kind of blew up. So it resonated with a lot of people, meaning a lot of people they're thinking about this as well. And I said, no excitement and all-time high anymore. 100K was cool because it was historic. We need to go much higher before actual euphoria kicks in. 5K candles are considered boring now. And if you think about it, a 5K candle now equals a $500 candle at 10K, which is gnarly to say because it's like, $5,000 move. But at the end of the day, if we're at 100K, that's a 5% price swing, which is great maybe in stock market terms, but in Bitcoin terms, you're like, this is boring. Like, what's going on? Now, this is what I think is going to happen. And the reason I believe this is going to happen is because look at where we are. We're at 107,000 and none of us feel euphoria. None of us feel thrill. None of us even feel belief. Most of us are still PTSD'd from the 2021 bull market, which was, in my opinion, and this is debated, was cut short because of the China mining ban. I know a lot of people say FTX. I'm doubling and tripling down. It was the China mining ban. You look at the hash rate, look at the price. It's like a direct correlation, right? And then you think about it, why would the price start falling with the mining ban? Well, all those miners had to sell a lot of Bitcoin to relocate to more favorable jurisdictions. And now you sprinkle in FTX. I think 2021 was cut short. I think we were destined to hit 100K in 2021. So, but a lot of people still have PTSD. We haven't had a proper bull market since 2017. That's a long effing time. That's what, 7 years now. That's a long time, right? So what I tweeted out last night, and I really believe this in my heart, 2025 will be the redemption year for the class of 2017 who got rugged in 2021. So anyways, I thought this would be an interesting topic to talk about, and we're almost at 2,000 live viewers, so appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Smash the like button. Help us break 250 likes within the first hour of the show. I wanted to bring this up because I know we're all feeling this way. We're at all-time highs. Everyone's happy, but we're like chasing the dragon. We're like, yo, like, how come I don't feel anything? Like, I'm like dead inside. Like, what's going on? And it's because of the percentages. $1,000 price movement is 1% at 100K. $5,000 price movement is 5% at 100K. $10,000 price movement, that's 10%. And you're like, only 10%? Like, that's gnarly. Not too long ago, the all-time high of Bitcoin ever was $10,000, right? So the fact that we're having these price swings now, that's why you're not feeling it. That's why you're not feeling the excitement. It's the percentages. Anyways, I'm going to pass it on to Zach. Zach, it seems like you had, and this by chance, we weren't talking about this backstage. It seems like you were having these conversations with some of your friends as well. So what's your take?
I mean, I thought it was just me, I didn't realize. I thought it was just me because I have a hard time feeling like really enthusiastic, about things and so on. So it's very, very validating to hear you say that and to hear everyone else echoing it too. I agree with you. It's the percentages. But I also just think like we all believe, or I don't know if belief is the right word, but we all felt such high conviction that Bitcoin was going to go past 100,000 that when it did, I didn't feel as much exuberance as much as I felt like, okay, good. I was right. We're all right. It's on track. But it very much felt like something that was definitely going to happen if you're a Bitcoiner and you've been in the space for a long time, whether it was 2017 or earlier, you've just been, following everything. And so I think when it happened, it just felt like a little good and validating. I felt like, okay, a little smug, like now I can say I told you so to some people. But I kind of agree with you about the last bull market. I do feel like we kind of got rugged. I think if you look at, and you might know the numbers better than I do, but if you look at like the 2017, time period, I'm pretty sure it like 20x'd, and we did not get that last cycle. And so, I mean, it's possible, right? It's possible that there's so much money flowing in this cycle. Maybe we just 20x again, and then everyone's going to feel extremely exuberant.
Yeah, I mean, bro, and a 20x, guys, from $100,000 Bitcoin right now that's $2 million Bitcoin, right? So, a 5x is $500,000 Bitcoin. And if you've been in the market, and roughly we're all the same class, I'm assuming, 2016, 2017. Zach and I have, look at that. Flex. So we're class 2017, 2016, 2013 in the house. So yeah, I mean, we haven't had a party in Bitcoin for a very long time, right? And the X's don't like, if you're class of 2017, a $500,000 Bitcoin, you're most likely going to be very happy. Like at $500,000 Bitcoin, I am actually worried that Opti will disappear for at least a week or two. So, Opti, what's your take on this? I wanted to talk about this, bro, because it was on my mind. It was clearly on a lot of people's minds. Zach, it was on your mind. Opti, what's your take on this, bro? Because it's like we need bigger fixes, man. Those $1,000 price swings don't cut it anymore, bro, like they used to.
Yeah, I mean, I was even saying it this morning, like, even on Twitter, the $1,000 update every single day, you're just kind of like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, do we really have to talk about $1,000 updates every time Bitcoin goes up? But yeah, like to your main point, it was really exciting seeing Bitcoin break 100K. Obviously, as a Bitcoiner, we all were kind of looking at that psychological price point, and we knew it was going to get there. I mean, as long as I've been in Bitcoin, it was definitely like we're going to 100K. You know, when I got in, it was roughly around like 10K. We hit 20K, and everyone was like, we're going to 100K this cycle. And then, of course, we had a really long bear market. And then 2021 came, and we didn't hit 100K, even though everyone thought it was priced in. And now it seems like we're breaking 100K. And yes, a lot of people are talking about it, but it doesn't feel like the euphoria that you felt in 2017 when literally everyone was talking about it. And you got to remember that one Wall Street heuristic where it's like once the shoe boy is starting to talk about buying the X product, that's when you know you're getting into the euphoria phase. And I don't think we're there. And people in the chat are saying that they think we're in like the belief stage. I'm going to argue that I think we're just out of the disbelief. Maybe we're out of the, like, we're just about to get out of the hope phase. To me, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Obviously, I'm always overly bullish, so take it with a grain of salt. And the funny part is when you start using the psychological Wall Street cheat sheet, you can really map it out to everything. Like you see the bears out on Twitter basically saying like, oh, this is the anxiety phase, or you know, the capitulation phase. So you can really tailor this to whatever your perspective is on Bitcoin. But personally, I think it is kind of like maybe ending the hope stage, about to break into the optimism stage where like this rally is real, because a lot of us, you know, again, we broke 100K. I'm already bored with 100K. And it's just like, okay, can we really start to see some price pumps? And Nico, you said something interesting in those tweets that, what was it, like $500 is equal to 5K pumps now. And I said this the other day when we actually kissed 100K and it went instantly back down to 90K. It really reminded me of when Bitcoin broke 10K and then went down to 9K. And you know, a 10x candle now kind of feels like a 1x candle, or a 1,000 or 10,000 candle price in Bitcoin feels like the $1,000 Bitcoin candle. And if that's the case, then it does feel like we are a long ways away from hitting a top, because in 2017, when Bitcoin broke 10K, it was towards the end of the the parabolic stage of the Bitcoin price market. You know, it was in November. So that means if that still plays out, it means we basically have like a year of pumping, guys. Like, you think in a year of pumping in Bitcoin, we're only going to get a 1x? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, bigger numbers, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, I think we're kind of in that hope stage, Nico. Like, I think we're breaking into the optimism stage right now. And you're starting to feel that because all the conversation around Bitcoin, mainstream media or corporate press is starting to pick up Bitcoin. You're starting to see that Bitcoin is kind of breaking echo chambers and going into more normie-friendly channels. And it's not just Bitcoiners talking about this. And of course, with everything we've been covering the last couple of weeks, that everything that is changing with Bitcoin, whether it's the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve pushes, institutional capital coming into Bitcoin, the ETF scooping up all the Bitcoin, obviously less Bitcoin being produced by blocks every 10 minutes, like it just doesn't feel like we're in the manic euphoria stage yet. Like, I personally, within myself, I don't feel like I'm euphoric. I'm not like, I've been telling you guys all year, I'm going to be losing my mind when the price goes up. So I can be a good metric for when we are hitting euphoria. If I start coming on the show and losing it, then maybe we can start to think we're in euphoria stage. But yeah, it still feels like we have a lot of room to run, Nico.
100%. I agree with you. And I actually asked the chat, and we have 62 votes. And I want to get Zach's thoughts as well. What phase are we in? And it seems like 49% agree with you, Opti, where they believe that we are in the optimism phase. About 25%.
Just starting it.
Yeah. So we
Can we throw that chart back up?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So I'm going to pass it on to Zach. Zach, what are your thoughts on this, man? What's going on?
Well, firstly, my thoughts are about this chart. Haven't people been talking about booms and busts for hundreds of years in business literature? So something really important, I think, to realize, because there's always the theories about, like, will this be the super cycle, right? Will we just go to infinity? I don't think so at all, because I think Bitcoin is a perfect, open, permissionless market, right? It's open 24/7. It's global. It's always trading, and there's nothing anyone can do to interfere with that market. And so we actually capture this market cycle that's been documented for hundreds of years, or probably even thousands of years, right? If you go find like records from ancient, Rome or whatever, I'm sure there's probably similar kind of documents about these market cycles. And I think the only reason why we don't see these market cycles for like the US economy is because of the Fed, right? And of all the intervention. And so, our government is constantly intervening to stop these cycles, right? It stops the booms and it stops the busts, or at least it tries to. And, as we know, it doesn't always go that well. But in Bitcoin, that doesn't happen. So, I think we're like very much in the beginning of hope as well with this cycle. I think we're just going to follow exactly the same formula that we did last time. And I was doing some math just for memory. Like, I'm pretty sure when I got into it, I bought it like around 1,000 for the first time in end of 2013. I think it hit like 1,300, and then Mt. Gox collapsed. So that was like my first exposure. And then, 2017, we went to $20,000, right? If you think about like that, that's a 15 times increase, right? From one top to the other top. And then last cycle, we only got like a three something X increase. So I think like a lot of Bitcoiners who've come in the last few years, I fully agree with Nico. Like, I've been robbed of this cycle top. And I think most people have come in the last few years. And so they're not aware of like the dynamics of going from like, $300 in 2016 to $20,000 all within a, 18 or so month period. And I don't see any reason why with the new administration coming in, with all the money coming in, with all on the legal side, just everything making it easy for money to flow into the space. I don't know what's going to like artificially stop this from happening. Maybe like a fake UFO invasion or something, right, in New Jersey.
Well, they're working on that, Zach.
Yeah, right. The drones. I saw someone in the chat ask, like, is it cheap or is it expensive? Guys, if you bought the top in 2017, you're up 500% right now. If you bought the top in 2021, you're still up 30% on your investment, even if you bought the freaking top. And I totally bought the top. I always buy the top. That's like what Bitcoiners do. We buy the tops. But anyways, I also do want to give a shout out to the stream. We just broke 2,000 live viewers across YouTube and X, and another 100 of you guys watching live on Rumble. And only on YouTube alone, we're at 654 people. It's a pretty good live stream. You guys are enjoying it. Smash that like button. Help us break 300 likes within the first. We're already at 250. Let's bring that up to 350. Help us break 350 likes before the end of the stream. All right, guys.
Hey, wait, Nico. Can I chime in real quick? Because I do kind of want to echo what Zach said, because I've been saying this as well. And you guys kind of summed it up well, because of what we saw in 2021 and the bull market seemingly being cut off. Like, this cycle, I know everyone's kind of doing like 300, maybe 500K predictions, but it does kind of feel like we might have like pent up demand because of the 2021 end of the bull market. So this, I don't know, this cycle could be really different in 2025 in the sense like the price could go a lot higher than any of us are predicting, kind of what Zach was saying, because 2021, we kind of feel like we got robbed, and now we feel dead at 100K. So, hey, who knows what's going to happen, but it does feel like we are going to get an incredible 2025, and, the parabolic season of Bitcoin might get really crazy here. So again, keep stacking them Bitcoin, don't trade that Bitcoin, just hold it, put it in the cold storage, because who knows, it could fly a lot higher than we are thinking. A lot of people are saying 250, 300K. It could blast to 500,000 per coin. Like, who knows?
Who knows? Anyways, guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to hit the news. We have tons to talk about. Let's check it out. We're going to talk about Jack Mallers going on the Tim Pool podcast. Tim Pool is one of the most popular creators on YouTube these days. And again, it's Bitcoiners breaking that Overton window, going into the popular mainstream culture. But Jack Mallers actually might have slipped when he said some things kind of hinting towards Trump's dedication to making this Bitcoin strategic reserve a thing. And there is actually a Forbes article written about it. And the Forbes article, the headline is Trump confirms Bitcoin reserves plans, 15 trillion price boom predicted. That's not a simply Bitcoin title. That's a Forbes title, bros. So 2025 seems to be looking very, very good. So stay tuned.
15x confirmed. 15x confirmed.
No, we're at 2 trillion, bro. We're at 2 trillion. That's not a, anyway.
Oh, okay.
I want to get